Hey, welcome to the third quarter. We had a little bit of a fail on the Bollinger Band I was looking for on the quarterly chart. I was hoping that we would get a bust above the upper band. Kind of fell short a little bit, so we're looking for a little bit of a pullback or a little bit of a correction. So we're going to take a look at these charts and see what's going on post failure on the quarterly. So let's pull up a couple charts here for Bitcoin against the dollar. Let's see here. Yeah, first I wanted to show you the quarterly chart I was looking at. One thing I was looking for was the new quarter closing above the upper Bollinger Band. Uh, that would have been a really nice signal that it was getting ready to take off on a nice parabolic move to the upside. But as you can see, the last time it wicked up just above it, we had a little bit of a correction the next quarter. Things are a little bit different now than they were back then. So I don't think we're going to get a huge correction like we did in this 3 month of data. But right now, we're actually starting to work our way down to the downside. So what do we look for? Where are the areas of support as we move to the downside here? So that's what I wanted to kind of take a look at and see some of the areas that we might want to be doing some buying. So here on this is the Elliott wave pattern that I've been following ever since December. Back here, I've had a few buys on the way up. Still long. I have not sold into this yet for a couple of reasons. Some of the things I have on this chart before I get started. Uh, the dotted line here is just a trend line. The arrows here are the objective off the trend line break that is marked off right around 16.6 as a possibility of getting to if this wave works its way up there, and I'll explain that here in a minute. The RSI is the orange line that's plotted underneath here. This red line right here is support on the indicator itself that I'm looking at. So as long as we stay above that red line, we are still in a bullish market overall, just from that indicator itself. Underneath that, we have the ADX, which is the black line itself is the ADX, which measures the trend strength in the market. And then the two lines that are plotted against it, the green one and the red one, the green is the positive directional index and the red is the negative directional index. Whichever one is elevated above the other is kind of what you want to apply the momentum to, or the trend strength. And right now the bulls are still in control because we have not crossed yet. So no support break here, no cross here. As we're coming down on the chart, that tells us that we should find buying support at key support areas. So what are we looking at here? I got this ABC correction with a first wave to the upside here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this up a little bit so we can see what we're looking at here on this move to the upside. All right, couple of things. I think with this parabolic move here, I think we went one, and then we had a consolidation two, and then we had an extended three, which was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here extended to get three, to where two was kind of a little bit moved to the downside here. Four was a consolidation, and then we had the fifth wave to the upside, which gave us the third wave. We had a quick move to the downside here to give us a fourth wave to the downside. And one of the reasons I liked it is because if you take the Fibonacci here off of this leg for this third leg, or third wave leg here, if you put it right about there, we just about got to the 61.8%. And what I liked about it was that we didn't cross on the momentum indicators, and the RSI stayed well above the support level. So both of those were signals to me that, and of course, the buying that came off of that wick pretty fast was another signal that maybe we just had a nice little sharp fourth wave to the downside there. So let me get rid of this because it gets kind of crowded. Now I think since we went parabolic, I think we're in another 5 waves to the ups, or 5 waves to get that fifth wave. So you got a wave one here, you got a wave two down, and then you got this three parabolic move here. and then the fourth wave to the downside. Now, what I'm looking at here, there's a bunch of different support levels. One is if you take the leg from 4 to 5 here, or wave 4 to where we've had the high so far at 13.9. The 61.8% level is at 93.83. So I think that's going to be a very significant level for support, if we even get there. Because right now we're still finding some buying interest, mainly off like the 12-hour. You're finding a lot of interest here. At 10.3 was that previous low. We got the 55 exponential moving average right here that we bounced right off of. And then the 61.8% level of this latest leg on the 12-hour is right around 9,800. So a lot of support in here, a lot of buying areas that I think can kind of keep us supported. So and another thing is when you're looking at this wave 4 here, it's kind of an ABC corrective kind of zigzag for the fourth wave. So I think we can get some buying interest right around this level. So another thing is on a fourth wave, it can't exceed down through the 1. And the high right now on this I right here, or this 1, is the high right now on that is 90.90. So we actually can't get down below that for this fourth wave, or my count's off. And this is probably the end of the fifth wave, and then we're going to end up lower. But if that's the case, then the 61.8% level is already going to be busted to the downside. And then that's when you want to start looking for the next support level, which would be 81.43. I know if you guys follow any of the futures charts, I know there's a gap in the futures chart at 8,500 that needs to be filled. That if the 61.8% level breaks at 93.83, I would look for that 8,500 to be kind of filled and look for that next level of support. However, as long as we're in this bull market here above the RSI and the ADX is still kicking it for the bulls, as prices approaching some support levels down here, I'm a buyer down in these levels. So I think this is a fourth wave that's going to hold the support level, and then this last leg to the upside will give us our fifth, which gives us a wave 5, which also is the first wave 1 off of, when you look at it from a really long-term basis, that could be wave 1. And then after that's happened, maybe we'll get a wave 2 that would bring us down into some other things. So we can talk about that another time. But right now, people are asking me what I'm doing, what's going on, since we missed that quarterly chart. So really, I'm finding some buying support down in here. So my area that I'm watching is 93.83. Uh, for some buying interest, or where buyers should come into the market and give us that fourth wave to the downside. And when I say an ABC zigzag, I mean, if you blow this up, you got this A here, you got the B here, and it goes down here. You can see it a lot better on the 12-hour. Here's that A, here's the B, and here's the C. And as you can see right here, this came down. The 61.8% level was at 12,505, kind of found some selling interest, worked its way down here. The 61.8% level was right at 11.1 or so, busted it, and then it had a full retracement to 10.3, actually wicked down to the 55 exponential moving average, and has since bounced up, which is a good sign, because I like to see the buying interest right around this area, which in turn should help my wave count here and hold this above the 61.8% here on the daily. So that's what I'm looking at. So if there's any questions, comments, concerns, anything going on in Bitcoin, feel free to reach out. I'm out at FiboSwanny out on Twitter. So that's what I'm watching. So peace out. Happy trading.